5 days ago, President Trump told Xi Jinping no on Taiwan. He said it once in Beijing and went home. Xi did not enjoy the meeting. 14 hours ago, China decided that conversation needed a louder ending. The plan was simple. Find any American plane in the Taiwan Strait, bully it on camera, lead the news. Nobody in Beijing wants to explain to Xi why the Americans got the last word twice in a week, so the homework had a tight turnaround. The pilot they picked is 40 miles from his target right now, and he has never felt better about his career. This is also the last time in his life he will feel this way about anything. He climbs out of the mainland at dusk in a J-20, China's most advanced fighter, the kind of jet that ends up on propaganda videos. He is a lieutenant colonel, 15 years in the cockpit, spotless record, the kind of pilot you put on a poster. Tonight, they will, just not the poster he had in mind. He does not know this yet. He banks south over 110 miles of open water called the Taiwan Strait that international law says everyone gets to fly through. China disagrees, the way a toddler disagrees with bedtime, loudly and without changing the outcome. 40 miles out, his radar lights up. The radar on the nose of the J-20 can supposedly spot a small target from over 100 miles away. Supposedly is going to do a lot of heavy lifting tonight. A Boeing 737 paints on the screen, cruising straight and level at 28,000 feet, a C-40 Clipper, United States Navy, the transport variant, the plane the Navy uses to fly officers to conferences with snack service and lumbar support. For him, it means one target. No fighters within 400 miles, no escort. The Chinese grins. This is going to be a very good night. It does not occur to him that no fighters within 400 miles and no fighters are completely different sentences. He pushes the throttle forward. The J-20 closes in minutes. First pass, he goes in wing to wing. The kind of close that gets a Navy pilot court-martialed and a Chinese pilot a commendation, depending on whose cockpit you're sitting in. He rides there long enough for whoever is flying that transport to feel a fifth-generation fighter sitting 20 feet off their glass. The transport does nothing, completely uninterested, the aviation equivalent of a cashier scanning a barcode. He banks around for a second run, confidence doubling on the way. The Americans are exactly as flat-footed as Beijing promised. Somewhere in the back of his head, a small voice asks a small question. The transport is flying about 10 knots under the cruising speed listed in the Boeing manual. He is not in a small voice mood right now. He is busy rehearsing the radio call where he tells his commander it went perfectly. He files the speed question under "Ask the engineers later." Later turns out to be a very ambitious word. He sets up the second pass, the highlight reel. He is going to roll inverted directly over the transport, close enough that the cockpit window flash makes the front page of 3 continents by morning. He banks hard. He rolls in, and as he settles onto his attack heading, a second contact paints on his radar. He blinks, wipes the glove across the display, looks again. The second contact is sitting exactly where the transport is. The second contact is not the transport. It is something peeling itself out of the transport's radar return like a passenger stepping off a bus. His helmet feels suddenly very wet. The shape that emerges is an F-15EX Eagle II, the Air Force's newest air superiority fighter, loud, enormous, and carrying 12 air-to-air missiles on its wings. The EX stands for extra. That is the polite version. Unofficially, it stands for excessive. Survivors tend to agree. Excessive is the right word. There are not many survivors. He counts. He counts 12 missiles aimed at him. The F-15EX is what shows up to a fight with 12 baseball bats and asks if the other guy needs a moment. His threat receiver finally catches up and starts howling. That receiver has spent the last 90 seconds politely confused by an unfamiliar return. The Chinese threat library was built to recognize American fighters coming from American airfields. It was not built to recognize an American fighter hiding inside a flying Boeing. Lock. High closure. 4 o'clock. He has not been alone for 1 second of this intercept. The Eagle had been flying so close to the C-40 that Chinese radar saw one fat blob and assumed the blob was one fat plane. He stares at the second return on his display, brain catching up at half speed. The trick is the air-to-air version of hiding behind a tree. Radar was looking for a fighter that protects the transport, not a fighter that is the transport. And he understands finally why the Boeing was flying 10 knots slow. The F-15EX loiters best at exactly that airspeed. The transport was helping its bodyguard stay parked. The lieutenant colonel reacts the way every pilot reacts the moment they realize they are no longer top dog in the room. hard right brake, every flare and chaff bundle dumped at once, throttle past the detent into full afterburner. The Strait lights up like a fireworks display nobody planned and nobody is enjoying. The Eagle does not chase. It does not need to. It has held kill position since Pass 1. Running from a jet that already has you locked is the air-to-air version of running from a debt collector who already has your address, your phone number, and a photograph of your mother. You can run. You are still going home empty-handed. The F-15EX settles into a calm trail position 600 meters back. The American pilot does not lock weapons. He does not warn. He does not even sound impressed. He keys the open guard frequency and says one short sentence. "Welcome to the Strait. Hope you smiled for the cameras." The lieutenant colonel does not understand the last sentence. He is 1 second away from understanding it because the transport keys its own radio on the same frequency. The slow, fat, defenseless target he has been flying parade close to for the last 20 minutes sounds bored, like a hotel front desk confirming a checkout. The transport tells him every pass was filmed. Every angle, every aggressive maneuver, every hero shot rollover, not by satellites, not by the Eagle, by the transport itself. Some C-40s carry mission equipment, and this one is carrying optical sensors built specifically to record the kind of fighter that gets close enough to record a transport. The lieutenant colonel had been smiling at his helmet cam this whole time. The helmet cam was the least important camera in the airspace. The transport had better lenses, better lighting, and a budget. Then the transport delivers the line, the kind of line that gets translated into 70 languages by Friday, the kind that ends up cross-stitched on a pillow in the Pentagon gift shop. "Beautiful close-ups, Colonel. We'll send a copy to your commander." A long silence on the frequency. He does not respond. He cannot. The training manual does not include a chapter titled, "What to Say When the Plane You Were Bullying Asks Where to Mail Your Headshot." He turns the J-20 toward the mainland. He has survived. The worst is over. He will land. He will explain. He will be quietly reassigned to a desk where he will spend the next 10 years filing paperwork about ejection seats. His career is finished, but his life is not. He is allowing himself one full breath of self-pity. It is the last good breath he gets all week. Then the radio crackles one more time. The American voice comes back. Casual, warm, the tone of a man who just remembered one last birthday card he forgot to mail. "One more thing, Colonel. Small detail. For your report." He does not respond. He is listening anyway. "We are not landing at Okinawa." The transport names a different airfield. It is on Taiwan. It is Taipei Songshan. The lieutenant colonel's brain stops for a full second, the way a cheap laptop stops when you ask it to do two things at once. Songshan is 12 minutes away by C-40. He has spent the last 20 minutes flying tight, attentive, parade-quality formation with an American transport on final approach into the capital city of Taiwan. He has not been intercepting an American patrol. He has been providing Chinese fighter honor escort for a United States diplomatic landing in the exact city Xi Jinping spent 2 days arguing about at the Beijing summit. On camera, voluntarily, for free. The footage already exists. At this exact moment, it is being color graded by an intern at a Taipei news station who is having the best Tuesday of her entire career. By dinner, every Taiwanese broadcast leads with the same clip. A J-20, the jet Beijing puts on parade for visiting foreign delegations, on stamps for the Lunar New Year, on the cover of every recruitment brochure printed in the last decade, flying respectful, ceremonial, almost graceful formation alongside a United States Navy aircraft descending into Taipei. It is going to be the screensaver in every Taiwanese government office before the weekend. The lieutenant colonel has not just lost a fight, he has personally produced the single most valuable piece of Taiwanese state propaganda in 20 years. He produced it on his own time. He produced it for free. He produced it because he wanted to be on the front page of a Chinese newspaper. He is going to be on the front page of every newspaper that is not Chinese. He is going to be on a t-shirt by Saturday, a mug by Sunday, a commemorative postage stamp by the end of the month. He turns away. The F-15EX does not follow. It slides back into formation with the transport, exactly where it has been the entire flight, and the two American jets resume an unhurried cruise toward final approach, like nothing happened. For them, nothing did. The J-20 takes the long way home, not because he wants the scenery, because the short way passes 3 friendly air bases and he is not ready to make eye contact. He has 15 years in the cockpit, a spotless service record, a J-20 with his name stenciled on the canopy rail. By Saturday, the canopy rail will be the only thing in his entire career that still says his name out loud. On Sunday, they'll melt that too.